Good morning and
Good
welcome
morning.
back to Front Porch Wisdom. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, blessed day. I hope you guys had an awesome weekend. And today's topic is going to be real talk. And today we have Dr. Terry Schofield with us again today. And he's going to be talking about a little bit about his books and elaborating a little bit more on relationships. So good morning, Dr. Terry. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning, honey. How you doing?
I'm good, and thank you for coming back, taking out time to come and share with my Front Porch Wisdom family.
What's up, Front Porch Wisdom?
So would you like to elaborate on what your books are about so that everyone can kind of get an understanding of what you do, what your books are about, and also where can they find and purchase your book?
Well, thank you. I thank you for this platform. Well, I've just been real busy lately, finishing these couple of books and just finished an article with a major publication, publisher out of New York called Springer Publication on intimate partner violence among African American families. And it's doing all the relationship stuff. That's what we do. It's really what Front Porch Wisdom is all about too. Mm-hmm. But to get inside this book, my particular field, is psychology. And in the field of psychology, there's a thing known, as a healthy cultural paranoia. It's noticed in any kind of psychological magazine that there's a healthy cultural paranoia. And I think that in relationships, sometimes we feel like we're paranoid or we feel like we're going crazy. What's that feeling? I always feel like somebody's watching me. Is it just a fantasy? But sometimes in relationships, we feel like we're isolated. We sense that we feel like we get a little paranoid in the way we talk and the way we deal with each other as married couples, or just friends. So my book is all about how people make changes as a result of the environment that they're in, or how if they can change the environment or if they can change themselves in the environment to be better. And sometimes we struggle with that as people in relationships, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's just hard that environment is really important, and our position in it is tough. There's a big word called alloplastic and autoplastic. And alloplastic is all about how a person makes changes in their environment to accommodate an individual. And then the autoplastic is all about how people make changes in the world so that they can better function within the environment. So one's about changing yourself and one's about changing the environment so that you can make a better self. And those things are hard. I mean, come on, it's kind of difficult. So that's what this book is all about. The book is called Black, Married, and Not Feeling It. Okay? And when I first wrote the book, I wrote the book so that it could help couples. Because I heard one person say, why you want to talk about, not feeling it? I mean, we need positive stuff. I said, well, get the book. It's in the book. Get the book. The book's all about helping us with stuff that makes us marry whatever ethnicity we are and whatever ways we ain't feeling it, whatever ways we're not adapting in and out of this relationship thing. So it's cool. I got some good cool stuff in here that's been from some research. And I've got another book also called Why We Do What We Do. You can get both of these books, Black, Married, and Not Feeling It, and Why We Do What We Do, on Amazon and Kindle. I believe you can purchase on Kindle for $9.99, and the other book is about $19. And there's over 160 pages, so I gave the reader something to read. I thought about the reader, and I wanted to give a lot of content. And there's exercises in there that you can use to be able to help you right in the midst of your relationships.
That's awesome.
That's
awesome.
You can just work through it. And it's just a good book, and I've just put it out. I haven't really advertised it. In fact, honey, this is actually the first time that I've actually got on any kind of social media venue and, spoke about it, because I'm going to actually start advertising a little later, but I wanted to do it, especially on your show.
Oh, well, we appreciate that.
We're going to put it on the front porch.
Okay.
Right?
All right. That's a good story. That's a good place to be.
Right.
On the porch.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, this is all about, these two books about giving us tangible, or let's say, let me break it down using big words. This is real stuff to help us know how to interrelate with each other, because we are having issues with interrelating. I mean, you know what I mean? I always tell people a marriage becomes very dysfunctional and hard when there's more than one person in it, right? If you bear that by yourself, you ain't got nobody to be dysfunctional with. But if you got somebody in there with you, we're trying to learn out how we can relationship out and how we can work it out. So these books are very important, and relationships are very private and personal to people. So they're probably saying, man, I don't know you. I ain't letting you into my relationship. And most men, if you go to men, they really want to cry out because they feel like at times they can't go to anybody and talk about stuff like this. And their marriages can be crumbling apart. And they go to work every day with the same problems, and they come home facing the same things that they did not resolve before they left and went to work. And the wives, as you know, are trying to figure out this thing and why the man isn't doing what he needs to do. And as you told me, I don't communicate well. I try to keep stuff in all the time and how to do it. And so you know how that is. And some of the times, I mean, what do you think some of the problems with men are in relationships that you found, that you've heard through Front Porch and in our relationship that you figured out that men need help? What do they need help with, you think?
Well, I've kind of stated this before when we last had our video with you, Dr. Schofield. And I had 3, and they were the 3 C's. And it was communication, commitment, and consistency.
Yeah. So break those down a little bit. Communicate.
Well, as a woman, I would think that women, you let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are, but I would think that women want a consistency. They want to see things done without them having to remind you, without having to tell you constantly over and over again, do this, do that, especially around special holidays, or just those just because kind of acts of kindness. I did it because I love you. I did it because I appreciate what you do. I appreciate it just because of who you are. A woman feels like she shouldn't have to remind their mate or their spouse that those things are crucial. Those things are important. It makes a person feel good to be remembered and recognized. And communication, which is one of my pet peeves, is always a plus. You have to communicate. If you don't communicate, you just might as well hang it up. Your marriage or your relationship is you're gonna have all sorts of problems without the good communication. And I call it the love language. We have to learn what the love language looks like and what it sounds like. And then commitment. If you say you're going to do something, then do it. We understand things come up and, at the last minute and, you wasn't expecting it. But then there's when the communication pops in where you say, hey, I'm communicating. I have a commitment here. I know I told you this, but this came up. So I just wanted to communicate and let you know I didn't forget about you, or I didn't forget about going out to dinner. But this came up and I'm going to have to kind of tend to this, but we're still on. We're still going to do it. Communication, commitment. All those things are very important to women. And when you break them, it's like a trust has been broken. It's hard for that woman to believe anything you have to say after that. So after that, you got a lot of proving to do to make up.
Well, I like those 3 C's are powerful. Communication, consistency, and commitment. Those are, I got all those 3. Can you believe that?
No. And I don't have them written down nowhere, guys.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm trying to get this thing. You know what I mean? Well, and that's good. That's good. Those 3 C's are very important. And I think that sometimes in relationships with guys, they just feel like within that, a man men don't have men that they can talk to about their stuff. And that's what this book also is helping to do. Hopefully I can generate an opportunity to have sessions with men that I call Brew Sessions, where men can bring like their favorite iced tea or whatever. They can come get iced tea, or they can brew some hot tea. Our son does teas, or actually they can bring their own beer and just sit down like in a barbershop situation, but in an open setting, and just be able to talk to other men. I mean, that's so important because all of us struggle with the same thing. We're not sitting on here on this video telling you that we got it all together. Yeah, I'm a doctor, but I'm still falling down and getting up in this relationship thing. And we all can learn from each other. That's what this is all about. It's like bringing us out of the cave, bringing us out of these, because look, in your marriage, you can start to feel like all your problems are just true to you. But you look at statistics, marriages are declining every day. People are married, but they ain't happy why they married. So that's the issue that Black Married and Not Feeling It is addressing. You're married, you've been in there a long time, but you ain't quite happy. And I'm not saying that all of us need to be jumping around and being, ecstatic and hooray about our situations, but we all have a common bond. We all are Black, white, Hispanic, whatever we are, married and not feeling it. And y'all know I'm feeling it. As soon as I said this book, you guys caught it. I didn't have to tell you what it was, right? Right on. So you are exactly right. But I just want to encourage your listeners and your supporters and your sponsors and your supporters to get online at Amazon and Kindle and publish these 2 books. Do something for you, do something for your relationship and your wife and your spouse, and do it for your family. Get these 2 books. There is help out there. And we're struggling and we're working on our marriages just like you, but these are things that I've spent years of research on, 35 or 40 years of research on, and writing with president of national organizations, medical associations on intimate partner violence. And so this ain't no just talk about a book and everybody just hoo-ha motivational. These are real deal, real things to help you on. So I hope you plug in and get that, and be looking forward in the coming time. Podcasts and stuff are coming out on this stuff to provide maybe groups that I can work with women, also with men in a virtual way where we can work with them right at their own crib. For you people who know what a crib is, that's a house, old school.
Well, I like what you said about also meeting the needs of the men, which a lot of you might have heard the phrase iron sharpening iron. So, more so the women, I do front porch wisdom to kind of reach women, but my husband as well does iron sharpening iron, which is for men, which helps men to become closer together, to give a platform to where they can speak on similar topics where they all can relate to what the problems are that they're having in relationships. And it's to let down their guard. It's to let down their pride. It's to take the tool belt off.
Right.
And to allow them to be able to socialize and see that they're not the only ones that are struggling in their marriages or relationships. And it also brings a comfort to those men, I would say, just as much as it does the women, to know that they're not alone while they're going through what they're going through.
Absolutely. I think you hit it. I think that's exactly right. Nobody wants to be alone in what they're dealing with. Nobody wants to be the Lone Ranger. And it's a difficult thing in walking in a relationship with that. But it's even more difficult when you feel like you're by yourself, or when you're facing something that nobody quite understands. But this is all about, getting together, trying to help people. That's what it's all about. And none of us are so good at this thing where we got it all together. But I've spent a lifetime, you and I have, in trying to help people. And we feel like we got our thing that we're doing in our little corner to help somebody out. And all we want you to do is support us and, get online, go to Amazon and Kindle, get these books, continue to log into Front Porch Wisdom, giving women wisdom of life. That's what it's all about. It's all about paying it forward, reaching back, right?
Right, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So I don't know if you know this, the answer to this question, Dr. Schofield, but can you kind of just elaborate a little bit on what the percentage of divorces, what the divorce rate is?
Well, currently right now, the divorce rate that I've seen is around 65% in the United States. Well, I'm sorry, about 50%. And among African American couples, we're the leading ethnic population in divorces. African American marriages are about 65%. So, I mean, that's a high percentage rate. 65 to 70% of our marriages, the African Americans, are ending in divorce. And we run around saying that we ain't got no issues. We run around like everything's, okay. And well, as well as across any ethnicity, it's around 55%. So this marriage and this relationship thing is huge because, see, the important thing is, I think God gave us marriages to figure out how, at our home place that we spend most of our time, how we can relate to the world. And if part of your life is relatable and the other part is not, then I guarantee you that it's just a matter of time before how you relate in the world is going to be affected by what you don't do in the house.
Absolutely.
No matter what you do.
Because I would think with what you just stated, there's no turning it off and turning it on.
Absolutely.
Eventually what's in you is going to come out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Remember, a relationship becomes dysfunctional when there's more than one person comes in it. If you got two people in a relationship, one of y'all is dysfunctional. I believe it's her. She thinks it's me. Hey, there you go. Marriages, right?
Well, and also, too, I think that, it's okay to be different. I think a problem comes in with a lot of relationships is the other tries to confirm the other one to come on over to where they are.
Yeah.
What they do, how they do, what they think, how they think. Instead of appreciating the person for who they are and saying, that's okay. This is why I married this person in the first place. These are the things that made me interested in this person in the first place. So why would I try to take away those things that drew me to this person initially?
Well, Teresa, you made a good point, and I'd like to add to that. Let me add two things here. Let me tell you the major problem I find in most relationships, the major problem, and then let me tell you the major solution, okay? The major problem is, we call it projective identification in psychology. In other words, people putting on somebody something that they think they are, and then treating that person like they are that. For instance, if I come in the house and I say, Teresa, you ain't worth 2 pennies. And then if I treat you like 2 pennies, then it's really what it is I'm feeling like 1.5 cents, but I'm putting 2 on you. And then I'm identifying you as the 2% in the way that I treat you. So what it is when I say things to you to make you feel like you're that, then I treat you and identify you just what I said you were. That's where couples are all the time. That's interrelationship stuff. We're projecting and projecting all our stuff on our husbands and our wives and our kids and our families, and we tearing them apart. Here's the answer. Friendship. We know, look, we think we know what love is, but nobody can truly love like God can love. Nobody can. We love based on what people do for us or what we can get out of it. But we can do that friend thing. We can try love and do things in love, but we can really get to friendship. My challenge to you and your listeners' audience is to become better friends with your wife, become better friends with your husband. You remember when you first met them, you were friends. That's your best friend. Now, we treat our best friends better and more than we treat the people that we love. Now, all I'm saying is I challenge you to be the best friend to your spouse, to your kids. That's what we need to get back to. And these books are going to teach you how to do it. Come on, baby. Here it is.
Well, that is truly, truly good information, good wisdom, good knowledge. You know, I always say we are never above learning new things every day. There's always something to learn if we would just be more open to hear and then more to do.
Yeah.
So again, we have Dr. Schofield's books here. Can you see them, the titles?
Amazon and Kindle.
Make sure that you go and check it out. And once you get it, please hit Dr. Schofield up. He is on Facebook. He is on Instagram.
Dr. T.
And his website is relationshipacademy.net. And he also has an email, which is reconcile, which is RECONCILE, the number 2, the lowercase u @yahoo.com. He would love to hear your comments or any questions that you have pertaining to those books. You may be struggling with something. You may have a question. You might not can afford a counselor. You might just want to get some advice. You might just want to say, hey, I'm thinking about getting married. I'm not married yet, but I want to get a little advice before even entering or even thinking about getting into a relationship with anyone else. I would just advise you to check him out and see what he's about. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today.
Thank you.
We welcome you to come back on the porch with us anytime. If you're new, thank you to subscribing. Please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification, hit the thumbs up if you like this video. By all means, comment below. And thank you to all my new subscribers that has hit that subscribe button.
Right on.
God bless you. Much love to you. And we'll see you next time.
See you on the
On
porch.
the porch.